Recently, Kyle Shanahan said to local media that Brock Purdy was the real deal, and he's been met with a bunch of different comments in regards to that statement. Kyle Shanahan went on Sirius XM to clarify what he meant by calling Brock Purdy the real deal. Listen to what he had to say on the matter right here.
Looking at him out there, as I've said, there's nothing wrong with that synthetic slingshot that he's throwing with now in terms of the surgery and the internal brace that was put in there. He's on a little bit of a pitch count, but you said it a couple weeks ago that he is the real deal. Just talk about that, what you see. You've been around a lot of quarterbacks, and I know exactly what you're saying, but for the listeners, the real deal, what does that mean?
Well, my vocabulary is not that great, so sometimes I make dramatic statements that I see it when I reread it. But that's the simplest way when people sit here and, man, how can you feel confident going in with a quarterback who's only played in 7 games, who's the last pick in the draft and stuff like that? And, well, last year he looked like one of our better guys in practice, but he hadn't done it in a game. So I was very confident that he was going to be a good player, but you're never confident that he's the real deal. And what I mean by the real deal is a legit guy. You don't have questions about him. You don't know that until he plays in games. And we got to play with him for 7 games last year. And they're real games. You watch the tape, you can't take anything away from him. He was just important as Christian was, as Debo was, as all these guys are. And when you watch some of the plays he made, just getting the ball to guys so consistently, you watch some of the plays he made when nothing was there and you didn't think there was a play, and he'd come find a way to make one. And the fact that he never lost a game. When you have that much tape, when people ask me those questions, I don't get what they're so surprised about. It's he put it on tape. Now you got to go out and do it again. You got to get healthy, which I think he has. Things do get harder the more you play, but he played a while. It's not just me who says that and thinks that. It's every player on our team. So that's not what we're worried about. We're trying to put the best guys out there. I always say, like most people do, you never stay the same. And Brock played real well in those 7 games, and we expect him to play better this year.
I thought it was funny that Kyle Shanahan referenced his lack of having a strong vocabulary when in regards to discussing what he means and what he says. I do think it was funny how he did mention when he saw it written how he could kind of understand why people were having the reaction, but he did go on to explain what he meant. And I think we understand. We did see what Brock Purdy did in those 7 games. Again, it's a small sample size, but he moved Kyle Shanahan's offense better than any quarterback that we have seen in the last 6 years under Kyle Shanahan. Brian Hoyer, CJ Beathard, Jimmy Garoppolo, Nick Mullins, the list goes on and on. Trey Lance, Brock Purdy has looked really good in a short time frame. So obviously we understand that it's not set in stone, and there's still development that needs to be had, and we need to see how Brock Purdy looks this year coming back from UCL. So we'll continue to see if he is the real deal. My judge on it from watching training camp is that he looks like he'll be all right. There definitely might be some rocky periods of just being able to get comfortable again, but for the most part, he looks like he's back to being his old self. And I do think Brock Purdy will be able to show everyone that he could be the real deal. Now, as we know, things can happen and things can change in a heartbeat. So we'll continue to keep a fluid mindset when discussing these 49ers quarterbacks. Anything could happen. But you let me know what you feel about Kyle Shanahan's comments in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe for more updates.